Hey everyone, today I want to talk about something we all desire: success. We chase it, dream of it, and sometimes even lose ourselves in the process. But have you ever wondered why some people never achieve success, no matter how hard they try? Because success has enemies, and until we confront them, we will always find ourselves stuck in the same place. Fear is one of the most powerful emotions known to humankind. It is an instinct, a survival mechanism designed to protect us from danger. But while fear can save us in life-threatening situations, it can also become the biggest obstacle standing between us and success. It is a silent killer of dreams, the invisible chain that holds people back, and the whisper in the mind that convinces them they are not good enough. Fear does not always come in obvious forms. It disguises itself in hesitation, in doubt, in overthinking, and it convinces people that they are not ready, that the risks are too high, or that failure would be too painful to bear. And so, people remain stuck in the same place, paralyzed by the possibility of failure, never daring to take the steps necessary to change their lives. When people allow fear to dictate their actions, they give up on their dreams before even trying. They settle for mediocrity because it feels safer than risking failure. They remain in jobs they dislike, relationships that drain them, and situations that bring them no joy simply because stepping into the unknown is terrifying. But what they do not realize is that success demands courage. It requires stepping outside of comfort zones, embracing uncertainty, and trusting that even if things do not go as planned, they will find a way to rise again. Fear tricks people into thinking that staying in their comfort zone is the best way to avoid failure. But in reality, the only true failure is never trying at all. People often fear what others will think of them. They hesitate to chase their dreams because they worry about judgment, criticism, and rejection. The fear of being laughed at, misunderstood, or ridiculed stops them from expressing their true selves. They measure their potential based on society's expectations, forgetting that the most successful people in the world were once called foolish, unrealistic, or even crazy. Every great innovator, artist, leader, and entrepreneur faced doubt and resistance from others. But they succeeded because they did not allow fear to silence their ambitions. If they had waited for approval, they would have never changed the world. Those who seek validation from others will always be held back because no matter what they do, there will always be someone who disapproves. Success does not belong to those who try to please everyone. It belongs to those who dare to be different and chase their dreams despite the fear of judgment. Fear also manifests as the fear of failure. People hesitate to take risks because they believe failure is a reflection of their worth. They see setbacks as proof that they are not good enough, rather than as valuable lessons that bring them closer to their goals. But failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. Every successful person has failed multiple times. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not that one never failed, but that one chose to keep going despite the failures. Fear of failure prevents people from even starting. They want everything to be perfect before they take action, but perfection is an illusion. No one is ever completely ready. Growth happens through action, through trial and error, and through learning from mistakes. The only way to move forward is to embrace failure as a teacher, not a punishment. There is also the fear of the unknown. People hesitate to take new opportunities because they are unsure of what lies ahead. They would rather stay in situations they dislike than step into something unfamiliar. They cling to the security of what they know, even if it makes them miserable. But the truth is, nothing in life is ever certain. Even the so-called safe choices come with risks. People can lose jobs they thought were secure. Relationships they thought would last forever can change in an instant. Life itself is unpredictable, so fearing the unknown is pointless. Success belongs to those who embrace uncertainty, who trust themselves enough to know they will figure things out no matter what happens. Growth begins when people step into the unfamiliar, when they take chances, and when they choose courage over comfort. Fear also creates endless excuses. People convince themselves that now is not the right time, that they do not have enough resources, that they need more experience, or that they will try later when the conditions are better. But excuses are just fear in disguise. There will never be a perfect time. There will never be a moment where everything aligns perfectly. Those who wait for the right moment will wait forever. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is that the successful ones start despite the fear, despite the uncertainty, and despite the obstacles. They take small steps, they learn along the way, and they adjust as needed. They understand that action builds momentum, and momentum leads to progress. The longer people wait, the more fear grows, making it even harder to take the first step. One of the most dangerous ways fear stops success is through self-doubt. People hesitate to believe in themselves because they are afraid they are not talented enough, smart enough, or capable enough to achieve their goals. They compare themselves to others and convince themselves that they are not worthy of success. But confidence is not something people are born with. It is something they build. The only way to gain confidence is through action. Every small victory, every challenge overcome, and every risk taken builds confidence. Waiting until one feels ready is a mistake, because readiness comes from experience. No one starts as an expert. Even the most successful people were once beginners. The only way to grow is to start despite the fear, despite the doubts, and despite the imperfections. Fear does not disappear overnight. It is something that must be faced repeatedly. But every time someone chooses courage over fear, they weaken its hold. Every time they take a step forward despite their doubts, they prove to themselves that they are stronger than their fears. Fear is not something to be eliminated. It is something to be controlled. It will always be there, whispering doubts, creating excuses, and making success seem impossible. But it is up to the individual to decide whether they will listen to it or rise above it. Success is not about luck or talent alone. It is about persistence, resilience, and the ability to keep moving forward even when fear tries to hold you back. It is about refusing to let fear dictate your life and choosing to believe in yourself even when no one else does. The world belongs to those who dare to dream, who dare to take risks, and who refuse to let fear stop them from achieving their full potential. Procrastination is a silent thief that robs people of their most valuable asset, time. It is deceptive because it often disguises itself as harmless delay, a momentary pause, or an innocent distraction. But what begins as a small act of postponement soon becomes a habit, and before people realize it, weeks, months, or even years have slipped through their fingers. Procrastination is not just about laziness, it is about fear, self-doubt, and the false belief that there will always be more time. People convince themselves that they will start tomorrow, next week, or next year, but the truth is, tomorrow is never guaranteed. The only moment anyone truly has is now, and every time a person delays taking action, they are allowing opportunities to pass them by. One of the most dangerous aspects of procrastination is how easily it becomes a cycle. A person postpones a task because they feel unmotivated or unprepared, thinking they will do it when they feel more ready. But when that time comes, they still feel the same hesitation, and so they delay again. With each delay, the task begins to feel more overwhelming, and the guilt of not doing it grows stronger. Instead of facing the discomfort and pushing through, they avoid it even more, finding comfort in distractions that provide temporary relief but no real progress. This cycle continues, and with each passing day, the weight of unfinished work grows heavier, making it even harder to start. Procrastination is rooted in the fear of failure. Many people avoid starting tasks because they fear they will not do them perfectly. They tell themselves that if they wait until they are fully prepared, they will have a better chance of success. But perfection is an illusion, and waiting for the perfect moment only leads to missed opportunities. No one ever feels completely ready to take on something new, and the only way to learn and improve is by taking action, making mistakes, and growing from them. The greatest achievers in the world did not wait until they had all the answers. They started, despite their doubts, despite their imperfections, and despite their fears. Another major cause of procrastination is the addiction to comfort. People naturally seek pleasure and avoid discomfort, which is why they often choose distractions over responsibilities. Scrolling through social media, watching videos, or engaging in meaningless activities feels more enjoyable than working on something difficult or unfamiliar. These small distractions provide a sense of immediate gratification, but in the long run, they steal time and productivity. The problem is that every time a person chooses short-term comfort over long-term success, they reinforce the habit of avoidance. Over time, their ability to focus weakens, their self-discipline erodes, and their dreams slip further away. Procrastination also thrives on excuses. People tell themselves they do not have enough time, energy, or resources to start. They convince themselves that the circumstances are not right, that they need more knowledge, or that they will do better under pressure at the last minute. But these are all just rationalizations designed to justify inaction. The truth is, people always find time for what they truly prioritize. The difference between those who succeed and those who do not is not that one has more time than the other, but that one chooses to take action while the other waits for the perfect conditions. Success is built on consistency, on daily effort, and on the willingness to start even when it feels uncomfortable or inconvenient. The cost of procrastination is far greater than people realize. It is not just about unfinished tasks or missed deadlines, it is about lost potential. Every time a person delays taking action on their goals, they are delaying their own growth. They are postponing the life they want to live, the skills they want to develop, and the success they want to achieve. The regret of wasted time is one of the heaviest burdens to carry. People look back and realize that if they had started earlier, they would have been much further ahead. But time is unforgiving. It moves forward whether a person takes action or not. Those who procrastinate eventually reach a point where they wish they had been more disciplined, more focused, and more committed to their goals. Overcoming procrastination requires self-awareness and discipline. It starts with recognizing the excuses and fears that cause delays and making a conscious decision to take action despite them. The first step is often the hardest, but once a person begins, momentum takes over. Progress, no matter how small, builds confidence and motivation. Action creates more action, and before long, what once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. Developing a habit of consistency, setting clear goals, and holding oneself accountable are key to breaking free from procrastination. One of the most powerful realizations a person can have is that success is not achieved in one grand moment. It is built through small, consistent actions taken over time. Every great accomplishment started with a single step, and every expert was once a beginner. The difference between those who succeed and those who do not is not intelligence, talent, or luck. It is the ability to take action despite fear, despite discomfort, and despite uncertainty. Waiting for the right moment is an illusion, because the right moment is always now. The longer a person waits, the harder it becomes to start. But the moment they take control of their time and commit to their goals, they unlock their true potential. Procrastination is a thief, but only if people allow it to be. Time is the most valuable resource a person has, and once it is gone, it can never be recovered. The choice is simple. Either take action now and move closer to success, or continue delaying and watch time slip away. Every day is an opportunity to make progress, to build something meaningful, and to create the future one desires. The only way to defeat procrastination is to stop waiting and start doing. Negative people have an extraordinary ability to drain energy, dampen spirits, and hold others back from reaching their full potential. Their presence can be subtle or obvious, but their impact is always profound. They carry an invisible weight, pulling people into their world of doubt, fear, and criticism. Whether they are constantly complaining, criticizing, or discouraging others from chasing their dreams, negative people create an environment that stifles growth and breeds self-doubt. The energy they take is not just physical, but emotional and mental, slowly affecting confidence, motivation, and overall well-being. Negativity is contagious. Just as spending time with positive, uplifting individuals can inspire and energize, surrounding oneself with negative people can create a cycle of doubt and frustration. They see problems instead of solutions, obstacles instead of opportunities, and failures instead of lessons. Their perspective on life is one of scarcity, where success is limited, happiness is fleeting, and dreams are unrealistic. Being around such people forces others to constantly defend their ambitions, justify their decisions, and fight against the weight of doubt they impose. Over time, this battle drains enthusiasm and makes even the most passionate individuals question whether their dreams are worth pursuing. One of the most dangerous effects of negative people is how subtly they influence self-perception. They do not always attack directly. Sometimes their negativity comes in the form of doubt disguised as concern. They say things like, "Are you sure this is a good idea?" Or, "What if you fail?" under the pretense of caring. But their words plant seeds of uncertainty. Slowly, these doubts grow into fears, and before long, people begin to question their own abilities. They start thinking that maybe they are not capable enough, maybe their dreams are too big, and maybe they should settle for something safer. Negative people make others believe that they are not strong enough, not smart enough, and not worthy enough to achieve great things. Negativity does not just impact confidence, it also affects productivity. When people constantly hear criticism, complaints, and discouragement, their focus shifts from what they can achieve to what might go wrong. Instead of working towards their goals with enthusiasm, they begin second-guessing themselves. The energy they should be using to create, build, and grow is wasted on defending themselves against negativity. Doubt creeps in, and hesitation replaces action. People who might have once been fearless in chasing their dreams suddenly find themselves stuck, unable to move forward because they have absorbed too much negativity. Negative people often thrive on drama. They create unnecessary conflicts, spread gossip, and focus on problems instead of solutions. Their presence can turn even the most peaceful environment into a stressful one. They bring unnecessary emotional burdens, making situations more complicated than they need to be. Instead of encouraging progress, they create distractions that keep others from focusing on their goals. They drain energy, not only through their words, but also through the emotional exhaustion that comes with dealing with their constant negativity. Their pessimistic view of the world makes it difficult for those around them to stay motivated and driven. Another exhausting trait of negative people is their ability to diminish the achievements of others. No matter how much progress someone makes, they will always find a way to downplay it. They refuse to celebrate the success of others because it reminds them of their own inaction and failures. Instead of being happy for someone else's achievements, they criticize, belittle, or even dismiss them. They make others feel as if their hard work is insignificant, that their success is undeserved, or that it will not last. Over time, this kind of discouragement can make even the most confident individuals doubt whether their accomplishments are truly valuable. Negative people also have a way of keeping others trapped in the past. They constantly bring up old failures, mistakes, and disappointments, making it difficult for people to move forward. They remind others of past struggles. Instead of encouraging them to learn from them, they make it seem as if mistakes define a person rather than being stepping stones to growth. When surrounded by such negativity, it becomes hard to believe in new beginnings, fresh starts, and the possibility of success. Instead of looking ahead, people remain stuck in the past, unable to break free from the limitations that negative people impose on them. One of the most toxic aspects of negative individuals is their ability to instill fear in those around them. They magnify risks, exaggerate failures, and focus on worst-case scenarios. They convince others that stepping out of their comfort zones is dangerous and that trying something new is not worth the potential risks. This fear-based mindset keeps people from taking necessary steps toward growth. Fear replaces ambition, and hesitation replaces determination. Instead of pursuing goals with confidence, people begin avoiding challenges altogether, missing out on opportunities that could have changed their lives. Over time, constant exposure to negativity affects emotional well-being. It creates stress, anxiety, and even depression. The human mind is deeply influenced by the energy it absorbs, and when that energy is filled with pessimism, It begins to shape thoughts, attitudes, and behaviors. People who were once full of excitement and drive begin to feel drained, hopeless, and uninspired. Their dreams seem further away, their confidence fades, and their passion is replaced with exhaustion. Negativity does not just slow progress, it suffocates it completely, leaving individuals feeling lost and disconnected from their true potential. Despite the impact negative people have, many continue to tolerate them out of obligation, guilt, or a sense of loyalty. They feel that they must endure the negativity because they have known the person for a long time, because they are family, or because they do not want to seem unkind. But protecting one's energy is not selfish. It is necessary. No one can pour from an empty cup, and constantly being surrounded by negativity drains the mental and emotional strength needed to pursue success. Setting boundaries, limiting exposure, and consciously choosing to surround oneself with positive influences is one of the most powerful ways to regain energy, motivation, and clarity. Energy is a precious resource, and where it is directed determines the course of life. Spending energy on negativity leads to frustration, stagnation, and unfulfilled potential. Investing energy in positivity, growth, and self-improvement leads to success, happiness, and personal fulfillment. The people one surrounds themselves with either contribute to success or hinder it. Choosing to be around those who uplift, encourage, and support is not just beneficial, it is essential. The mind absorbs the energy it is exposed to, and just as plants grow in the right environment, people thrive when they are surrounded by positivity. The presence of negative people in one's life is a choice. While it may not always be possible to completely eliminate them, it is always possible to control how much influence they have. Protecting one's energy means recognizing the difference between those who inspire and those who drain, between those who push forward and those who hold back. True success is not just about achieving goals, but about maintaining the right mindset to keep going despite obstacles. Removing negativity is not an act of cruelty. It is an act of self-care. The less energy wasted on negativity, the more energy there is for creating, growing, and living a life filled with purpose and success. Self-doubt is one of the most destructive forces that can exist in a person's mind. It creeps in silently, whispering uncertainties, magnifying insecurities, and making even the most capable individuals question their abilities. It does not strike in a loud, obvious way. Instead, it slowly eats away at confidence, creating hesitation and fear where there should be self-assurance and determination. It convinces people that they are not good enough, not talented enough, and not worthy of success. Over time, self-doubt becomes so deeply ingrained that it controls thoughts, actions, and ultimately the course of life. The most dangerous thing about self-doubt is that it does not just stop people from achieving success. It stops them from even trying. When a person doubts their abilities, they hesitate to take risks, to put themselves out there, and to pursue their goals with full force. They convince themselves that failure is inevitable, so they do not even attempt to succeed. Opportunities that could have changed their lives are ignored simply because they believe they are not capable. Instead of chasing dreams, they settle for mediocrity, telling themselves that playing it safe is better than facing the possibility of failure. Self-doubt is not something people are born with. It is something that develops over time. It is the result of past failures, negative experiences, and the opinions of others. If a person has been criticized, rejected, or made to feel small, they begin to internalize those experiences, believing that they are incapable or unworthy. They replay moments of failure in their minds, convincing themselves that those failures define them. Instead of seeing setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow, they allow them to become proof that they are not good enough. With each experience of doubt, their confidence diminishes, making it even harder to believe in themselves. One of the greatest tragedies of self-doubt is that it blinds people to their own potential. They may have all the talent, intelligence, and ability needed to succeed, but if they do not believe in themselves, none of that matters. Confidence is what turns potential into action. It is what allows people to push through obstacles, to take bold steps forward, and to keep going even when things get difficult. Without confidence, even the most capable individuals remain stuck, unable to move beyond their fears. They watch others achieve success and wonder why they themselves are unable to do the same, not realizing that the only thing holding them back is their own mindset. Self-doubt also leads to overthinking. Instead of taking action, people spend endless hours questioning whether they're making the right decisions. They analyze every possible outcome, focusing on what could go wrong rather than what could go right. This constant overanalysis creates paralysis, preventing them from making any decision at all. Even when they do take a step forward, self-doubt makes them second-guess themselves, leading to hesitation and inconsistency. Instead of moving forward with confidence, they move cautiously, always looking for reassurance, always seeking approval, and never fully trusting their own judgment. Fear and self-doubt go hand in hand. When a person doubts themselves, fear takes control. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, and fear of not being good enough dominate their thoughts. They start believing that if they try and fail, it will confirm their worst fears, that they are not capable or deserving of success. But failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of the journey. Every successful person has failed at some point. But what sets them apart is their ability to push through self-doubt and keep going despite those failures. They understand that failure is not a reflection of their worth, but a lesson that brings them closer to their goals. Self-doubt is reinforced by comparison. In today's world, where social media constantly showcases the highlight reels of other people's lives, it is easy to fall into the trap of feeling inadequate. People compare their behind-the-scenes struggles with the polished success of others, forgetting that they are only seeing a small part of the story. They believe that others are more talented, more successful, or more capable, and in doing so, they diminish their own abilities. They fail to realize that the people they admire have also faced struggles, setbacks, and doubts, but chose to keep going anyway. Comparing oneself to others only fuels self-doubt, making it harder to recognize one's own unique strengths. Another destructive effect of self-doubt is that it leads to the need for constant validation. Instead of trusting their own instincts, people look to others for approval before making decisions. They wait for someone else to tell them they are good enough, smart enough, or talented enough before they allow themselves to believe it. But confidence cannot come from external validation, it must come from within. Relying on others for reassurance only makes self-doubt stronger, because the moment that validation is taken away, insecurity returns. True confidence is built when a person learns to trust themselves, to believe in their abilities even when no one else is watching. Self-doubt does not just affect personal goals. It affects every area of life. It damages relationships, careers, and overall happiness. In relationships, self-doubt creates insecurity, making people believe they are not worthy of love or respect. They settle for less than they deserve because they do not believe they are valuable enough to demand more. In careers, self-doubt stops people from pursuing better opportunities, asking for promotions, or speaking up in meetings. They convince themselves that they are not qualified, that someone else is better, and that they should just stay where they are. In life, self-doubt keeps people trapped in their comfort zones, afraid to take chances, and afraid to chase their dreams. Breaking free from self-doubt requires conscious effort. It starts with recognizing the negative thoughts and challenging them. Instead of accepting self-doubt as truth, people must question where it comes from and whether it is based on reality or fear. They must remind themselves of their strengths, their past achievements, and the times they have overcome obstacles. Replacing self-doubt with self-belief is not easy, but it is necessary. Confidence is not something that people are simply born with. It is something that is built through experience, practice, and persistence. Taking action is one of the most powerful ways to silence self-doubt. The more a person pushes past their fears and proves to themselves that they are capable, the weaker self-doubt becomes. Each small success builds confidence, creating momentum that makes it easier to keep going. Even when doubts arise, taking action despite them is what separates those who succeed from those who remain stuck. Confidence is built through doing, through trying, and through failing but continuing anyway. Surrounding oneself with positivity also plays a crucial role in overcoming self-doubt. Being around people who believe in, support, and uplift makes it easier to believe in oneself. Negative influences, on the other hand, only reinforce doubt and insecurity. Choosing to spend time with those who inspire and encourage creates an environment where confidence can grow. Self-doubt is a silent killer of dreams, but it does not have to win. The only way to overcome it is to face it head-on, to challenge it, and to take action despite it. No one is born confident. Confidence is built, one step at a time. The moment a person decides to stop doubting themselves and start believing in their own abilities is the moment their life begins to change. Self-doubt may always be there, whispering fears and uncertainties, but it does not have to be in control. The choice to believe in oneself is the most powerful decision a person can make, and with that belief, anything is possible. Excuses are one of the biggest obstacles standing between people and their goals. They seem harmless at first, just small justifications for why something cannot be done at a particular moment, but over time they become a habit, a mindset that prevents progress and keeps people trapped in the same place. Excuses hold people back, not just from success, but from even attempting to reach their full potential. They provide comfort, a way to avoid discomfort and effort, but in doing so, they create a barrier that stops growth, achievement, and transformation. Excuses often start small. A person might tell themselves they are too tired to work on their dreams today, but they will do it tomorrow. They might convince themselves that now is not the right time, that they are waiting for the perfect opportunity, or that they do not have enough knowledge yet. These thoughts seem logical, even reasonable, but they create a pattern of avoidance. Every excuse delays action, and the more a person delays, the harder it becomes to start. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and before they realize it, years have passed without any real progress. The biggest danger of excuses is that they feel comforting. They allow people to avoid responsibility, to shift blame onto circumstances, timing, or other people. It is easier to say, I don't have enough time, than to admit, I'm not managing my time well. It is easier to say, I'm not talented enough, than to acknowledge, I need to work harder. Excuses provide a false sense of security because they create the illusion that failure is not the person's fault, but in reality, excuses only create regret. Time does not wait for perfect conditions, and those who rely on excuses to delay action find themselves stuck in the same place while others move forward. Fear is one of the biggest reasons people make excuses. The fear of failure, rejection, and judgment stops many from even trying. They convince themselves that if they do not try, they cannot fail, and if they cannot fail, they will not feel disappointment. But in avoiding failure, they also avoid success. Every great achievement comes with risks, with moments of uncertainty and setbacks. Those who succeed are not the ones who never fail, but the ones who refuse to let failure define them. They do not make excuses for why something cannot be done. They find ways to make it happen, despite the challenges. Excuses also rob people of opportunities. Many believe that if they wait long enough, the perfect moment will come. The right circumstances, the ideal conditions, the guaranteed success. But there is no such thing as the perfect time. The people who achieve their dreams do not wait. They take action despite uncertainty. They start where they are, with what they have, and learn along the way. Those who make excuses, on the other hand, watch as opportunities pass them by. Always waiting, always delaying, never moving forward. Excuses are often disguised as reasons. A person might say they do not have enough resources, time, or support to pursue their goals. While these factors may be real challenges, they are not insurmountable. Many people have succeeded despite having fewer resources, busier schedules, and less support. The difference is that instead of making excuses, they found solutions. They made time, learned new skills, and created opportunities for themselves. Every excuse has a solution, but only those willing to take responsibility for their actions will find it. One of the most common excuses is a lack of motivation. People wait until they feel inspired, believing that motivation is the key to taking action. But motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Those who rely on motivation to get started rarely make lasting progress. Success comes not from waiting for motivation, but from discipline, from showing up even when it is hard, even when they do not feel like it. The difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck is that successful people do not let their feelings dictate their actions. They take action despite their doubts, their fears, and their moments of low motivation. Excuses also create a mindset of limitation. When people constantly tell themselves why something cannot be done, they train their minds to believe it. The brain listens to repeated thoughts, and if a person constantly reinforces the idea that they are not capable, they start to believe it. They see barriers where none exist, focusing only on the difficulties rather than the possibilities. In contrast, those who refuse to make excuses develop a mindset of possibility. They look for ways to overcome obstacles, to turn challenges into opportunities, and to keep pushing forward no matter what. Another way excuses hold people back is by keeping them in their comfort zones. Growth requires stepping into the unknown, taking risks, and pushing past limitations. But the comfort zone feels safe. It requires no effort, no fear, no uncertainty. People make excuses to stay within that safety, telling themselves that they are not ready, that they need more preparation, that they will take action later, but later rarely comes. The longer a person stays in their comfort zone, the harder it becomes to leave. The only way to grow is to step outside of it, to embrace discomfort and uncertainty, and to take action despite the fear. Excuses also damage confidence. Every time a person avoids taking action, they reinforce the belief that they are not capable. They weaken their self-trust, making it harder to believe in themselves when they do. Confidence is built through action, through proving to oneself that they can overcome challenges, take risks, and achieve results. The more a person pushes past excuses, the stronger their confidence becomes. They begin to see themselves as someone who takes action, who follows through on their commitments, and who refuses to let fear control them. Another major consequence of excuses is regret. People who constantly delay action eventually look back and realize how much time they have wasted. They see opportunities they missed, goals they never pursued, and dreams they let slip away. Regret is one of the most painful feelings because it comes with the knowledge that things could have been different if only they had tried. While failure can be painful, it is not as painful as never trying at all. Those who let go of excuses and take action, even if they fail, at least have the satisfaction of knowing they gave it their best effort. Breaking free from the habit of making excuses requires self-awareness. People must recognize when they are making excuses and challenge those thoughts. Instead of saying, "I can't," they must ask, "How can I?" Instead of focusing on obstacles, they must focus on solutions. Instead of waiting for the perfect time, they must start now with whatever they have. The only way to overcome excuses is to take responsibility for one's actions, to accept that success is within their control, and to commit to taking action no matter what. Another way excuses hold people back is by keeping them in their comfort zones. Growth requires stepping into the unknown, taking risks, and pushing past limitations. But the comfort zone feels safe. It requires no effort, no fear, no uncertainty. People make excuses to stay within that safety, telling themselves that they are not ready, that they need more preparation, that they will take action later. But later rarely comes. The longer a person stays in their comfort zone, the harder it becomes to leave. The only way to grow is to step outside of it, to embrace discomfort and uncertainty, and to take action despite the fear. Excuses also damage confidence. Every time a person avoids taking action, they reinforce the belief that they are not capable. They weaken their self-trust, making it harder to believe in themselves when they do decide to try. Confidence is built through action, through proving to oneself that they can overcome challenges, take risks, and achieve results. The more a person pushes past excuses, the stronger their confidence becomes. They begin to see themselves as someone who takes action, who follows through on their commitments, and who refuses to let fear control them. Another major consequence of excuses is regret. People who constantly delay action eventually look back and realize how much time they have wasted. They see opportunities they missed, goals they never pursued, and dreams they let slip away. Regret is one of the most painful feelings because it comes with the knowledge that things could have been different if only they had tried. While failure can be painful, it is not as painful as never trying at all. Those who let go of excuses and take action, even if they fail, at least have the satisfaction of knowing they gave it their best effort. Breaking free from the habit of making excuses requires self-awareness. People must recognize when they are making excuses and challenge those thoughts. Instead of saying, "I can't," they must ask, "How can I?" Instead of focusing on obstacles, they must focus on solutions. Instead of waiting for the perfect time, they must start now with whatever they have. The only way to overcome excuses is to take responsibility for one's actions, to accept that success is within their control, and to commit to taking action no matter what. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who never face challenges. They are the ones who refuse to let those challenges stop them. They did not wait for perfect conditions, they did not allow fear to dictate their choices, and they did not make excuses for why something could not be done. They took action despite uncertainty, despite obstacles, despite doubt. That is the mindset that leads to success. Excuses will always be there, offering an easy way out, a reason to stay comfortable, a justification for inaction. But so will opportunities. The choice is always between making excuses or making progress. Those who succeed are not necessarily the smartest, the most talented, or the luckiest. They are simply the ones who refuse to let excuses hold them back. The moment a person stops making excuses and starts taking action is the moment their life begins to change. Excuses, self-doubt, fear, negativity, and procrastination are the biggest enemies of success. They disguise themselves as justifications, offering temporary comfort while silently stealing time, opportunities, and potential. Every excuse delays progress, every moment of self-doubt weakens confidence, and every act of procrastination keeps success just out of reach. The truth is, there will never be a perfect time, ideal circumstances, or guaranteed success. Only the choice to take action despite uncertainty. Those who achieve their dreams are not the ones who never face challenges, but the ones who refuse to let those challenges stop them. The moment a person stops making excuses, silences their doubts, takes control of their actions, and pushes forward despite fear, is the moment their life begins to change. Success is not reserved for the lucky or the talented. It belongs to those who are willing to step out of their comfort zones, believe in themselves, and take consistent action. The choice is always there. Stay stuck in fear and excuses, or move forward with determination. The power to succeed has always been within, waiting for the decision to use it.